What's going on? What's going on?
Got our first flag. It hasn't moved at all though. There might be a fish there. All right, here we go. I'm just gonna kind of reel into him. What do we got?
Well, welcome to my shop. It's a bit of a disaster. Jay Stevens here, and there's been a pretty fast growing trend or fad or whatever you want to call it, and that's ice camping. That is sleeping on the ice, overnighting in your ice shack, potentially fishing all night. It's blowing up. Everyone's doing it. It's something I've done in the past, and now, you know, with not traveling as much, it's kind of a little getaway. So it's a pretty cool deal. And before we get any further, my heart is breaking for outfitters and lodges all across. So if you do have an opportunity to stay at a lodge or, you know, resort or hotel, whatever, I mean, we need to help those people out. But in some situations, it maybe just doesn't make sense. Or in my case, I'm gonna be going out on Lake of the Woods and camping here. So, you know, it's in my hometown. But I wanna get you guys set up. I get lots of questions about gear, about, you know, what do you bring? How do you pack this stuff? And behind me, we just have a complete disaster. So I'm gonna lead you through what you need for sleeping, what you might want for cooking, how I store my rods, kind of the small trinkets you may not think of along the way, just to make ice camping enjoyable. Then we're gonna head out on Lake of the Woods, fish through the night, maybe cash in on a night bite for some burbot, and then fish the morning for maybe some walleyes. I'm not sure if we'll make it in time for the evening bite or not. As you can see, there's a lot of gear. I am very blessed to obviously have the toys. You don't need all of this. You can definitely strip it back and go a lot more minimalist. But there are a few essentials you're going to need if you want to sleep on the ice, unless you're gonna like build an igloo or something. But we'll start with the first piece if you're gonna wanna sleep on the ice. I gotta grab it from back here. You need a shack. This is the Eskimo 650XD. This is the biggest shack they make. It's somewhere around 100 square feet. It is a big hub pop-up style shack. I just did a video on how to set these style shacks up. Something to note about that shack is it's thermal, so it's gonna be super warm. It's gonna hold your heat a lot better. So the next thing you're gonna need, once again, you don't need this, but it would be very uncomfortable without it, is a heater. So I have multiple heaters. I'm gonna bring a backup heater. You know, if you only have one heater, that's fine. The thing is, if my heater goes out, it's gonna end my trip, you know? I'm not doing any sort of crazy survival type stuff, so I'm gonna bring a backup heater. I'm gonna be driving out on the ice roads today. You know, obviously if you're snowmobiling in or hiking in, you might not have the luxury of being able to haul that much gear. So this is the Buddy Flex. You'll see it in action, but essentially this bottom part here is a cooker, the top part's a heater. So right away, I don't have to worry about bringing an extra grill for cooking on the ice because we're gonna wanna eat some fish. My backup is the Big Buddy in its black case here, but this one is 18,000 BTU. The Flex does 11,000. I've heard on crazy cold nights people wanting to run multiple Big Buddies. I've slept 2 nights on the ice this winter, 2 or 3 nights, and the Flex has been enough on high all night. That being said, on a colder night, you may want a second Flex or the Buddy. And on that note, we have another item I need to grab. Right there, you have a carbon monoxide detector. You know, a lot of these heaters have emergency shutoffs. If there's not enough oxygen, you don't wanna not wake up. So it's just a cheap one. I think it was like 30, 40 bucks. It's a portable one. I think this battery inside says it's gonna last 10 years. So yeah, having one of these along is really nice. You can hang them in the mesh. I'll show that later once we're set up. You can use 1-pound propane tanks, but you don't wanna be swapping them out in the middle of the night. You need a 20-pound tank and this adapter hose. A 20-pound tank will definitely last you more than all night on high. I'm gonna bring a second tank as well. If you don't know how long you're gonna stay, you're never gonna kick yourself for having extra propane, or depending on, you know, your distance from where you're setting up to where you're parking your vehicle, bring backup. Like there's so often where it's just like, man, I had the space, why didn't I just bring that one extra propane tank or whatever it might be? Even throwing in a 1-pound propane tank as a safety is just always a nice thing to have. And still on the topic of, you know, the essentials, is you're gonna need something to sleep on. These are just some cheap cots, I don't know, 100 bucks, pretty compact. It is heavy, but that being said, it keeps you off the ice, and you could just use an air mattress and stay on the ice, but that's not gonna be good. You need to keep yourself elevated off the ice. That's where, you know, your heat's gonna rise off your heater, and it's gonna help a lot. All right, still on the topic of setting up is these foam mats. This is probably the piece of equipment you don't own that you'll need to buy if you wanna do some ice camping. These are big puzzle pieces. I'll link all these things below, but essentially these fit together and you make a floor for your shack. So then you can keep yourself dry. You can be in your socks, in your slippers, and that is gonna make it a lot more enjoyable. Now we're gonna pack some of the other living essentials. I got a dry bag. Dry bags are pretty nice. You know, this thing is tear-proof and it's gonna keep things dry, which is pretty important because this may sit on the ice at some point. Pillow, sleeping bag, pretty crucial. And this, you've heard me talk about slippers. These are some nice local made moccasins. You don't wanna wear your shoes. Once you're all cuddled in at night, it is pretty nice to have a pair of slippers. So every outdoorsman should have a dry bag. All right, this is my backpack, Panga 28. This has just some other odds and ends. We got some LED lights for the ceiling. You wanna light up your shack because it'll get so dark. I'm bringing a cordless drill. This is gonna help me drill my pegs in. You know, you can hand crank those pegs, but having the drill makes it super quick as well. I got some rags. You're definitely gonna need some toilet paper. I often like to pack a garbage bag as well. It's just an easy way to pack out your garbage at the end of the trip.
Pick up your trash.
Yeah, pick up your trash, guys. If you're camping on the ice, please don't be a slob.
I got some gloves, and this is something that I always bring, a booster pack right here. So I can boost my vehicle, I can charge my phone off it, I could boost my snowmobile. It's so nice to know that if I left my lights on or did something dumb, I can, you know, boost whatever I need in the morning. Got a flashlight as well. Headlamp, of course, is an essential. These are my boots I wear. I know we're going through everything right now. These boots are the Dunlop Oil Rigger boots. These are my favorite ice fishing boots, but since I added this, these are called Bama boots, and these are just like really thick socks that work as just an extra insole. I love these boots because you can slip them on and off so fast, and they are warm, but this just adds a little bit of extra warmth. I hate dealing with laces on my other boots, so these are 100% waterproof, and those Bama boots make a big difference. My suit, I'm gonna be wearing the Eskimo Superior suit. I'll link that one below. We got the bucket here with some live minnows. Now we got my other tote with some goodies. This is just cooking gear. We got a pan, fillet knife, beans, water, paper plates, some seasoning, all the stuff to eat fish on the ice. Because if you're sleeping on the ice, living on the ice, you may as well eat some fish. All right, I'm gonna bring the vlog cam just to show you guys the other stuff. We're gonna talk about fishing gear and camera gear now. This is the rod case I use. It's an old discontinued Otter rod case. I know you guys have been asking so many questions about it, but they are not made anymore. So longest rod I have in here is 39 inches. Look how tight it is at the tip, so there's no wasted space. When I'm using the 50-inch Frostbite rods, the longer ones, I have this Cabela's rod case that I chopped the top off of, added a piece of tubing, and now it can accept 50-inch rods. So when I need my longer rods, I'm using this homemade rig. The rest of the time I'm using this discontinued hard case. As far as rods go, I got a Drench, that's a 39 medium light. We got a True Grit, that's a 38 medium, a little bit heavier for bigger jigging spoons. We got a Smoke Show, which is a 37 medium light, and I think we got another Drench here, a 39 medium light, those softer tips. This is just a small old style Frostbite box. In the bottom, I've got plastics, I've got swivels, I've got split shots, a bunch of octopus hooks, some plastics. Really, that's the best part about ice fishing is as far as tackle goes, it's super light. I mean, just a couple jigging spoons. I'm probably gonna add a couple more heavier jigging spoons, rattle baits, some other jigging style baits. And then I already know I'm probably just gonna use 12-pound fluoro, so there you got it. All my other small trinkets I put in the lid of my Yeti tote. You got a hook sharpener, an extra crescent wrench, extra pins for your trailer. And I always bring bells along, especially if you're gonna be fishing through the night. And the bells, we're gonna put on these bad boys. This is called the iFish Pro. You've probably seen these before. These are kind of beaten and battered, but essentially it's a tip up that you can use with your rod. I'm gonna attach the bells on there so you can hear them when you're inside of the shack. So I'm gonna pack 2 of those. Ice scoop, measuring stick, extra ice screws for my shack in case I have any issues there. I would bring this empty toboggan if I needed to bring stuff out, but we're gonna throw everything in the back of the truck. Now we're just getting excessive. We've got the Live Scope bundle and we've got the AquaView. And with that, you're probably gonna wanna bring extra batteries. So I'm gonna show you guys how I run these things longer. 1 second here. I have a battery addiction. I'm gonna bring 2 18 amp hour Dakota lithium batteries. I have a 23 amp hour in my Live Scope kit. I have a 10 amp hour in my AquaView. These both have a quick connect pigtail that I can attach to the back. So instead of, I'm essentially charging it off these batteries and they're kind of running in parallel, you might say. So I bring these batteries as a backup. Really the essentials, all you need is a heater, a cot, a shack, and some fishing gear. We got the auger here as well, which I didn't mention. You're gonna see the whole setup process when we get to the lake. It is so much less work if you can do somewhere that's vehicle accessible. If you're near an ice road, it makes your life so much easier if you're somewhere near a shore and you don't have to lug stuff out. If I had to put all the stuff in a toboggan and haul it out by hand, it would be a lot of work. Not that I haven't done that before, but you know, it's just a little more convenient being able to keep everything in the back of my vehicle and drive right to the spot. Enough talking, I need to be gone in like 10 minutes. So quick time lapse of me loading everything into the truck, and then we'll hit the ice roads and we'll go from there. All right, guys, we're out here. We are about to set up the shack, and you're like, Jay, it's a couple hours later. What happened? Well, this goes along with part number 1 of ice camping, and it's you want to make sure you're on a good spot. I know you always want to make sure you're on a good spot when you're fishing, but if you're potentially camping out for 1, 2, 3, 10 nights in a row, being in a high percentage spot is just so important because it's a lot of work to pick up and move everything. So my buddy Alex and I were out this evening for the Sunset Bite on Lake of the Woods. We scouted a couple different humps, and we ended on a pretty good spot. Alex caught his biggest perch ever and his biggest walleye ever. And he said 50 years of fishing, this was his biggest walleye. I pulled out my iPhone for it. We didn't have the camera gear set up, and here it is. All right, Alex is hooked up with something big. We don't know what it is. We played with it forever on the live scope. The head shakes are kind of Burbot Lake. It's close. It's close. Ooh. Bubbles, yeah, just lift. Don't reel anymore. That's a giant walleye. Oh my goodness, Alex. Oh my, look at that. Oh. That's a hog. That's a size. That's huge. Yeah, 28. Show me. Let me get that off. Yes, nice, look at that. It's a monster.
That is a thick fish.
Holy smokes.
Wow.
Amazing. Look at that. Ridiculous.
Thank you so much. Wow.
So good, so much excitement, so pumped for him. Anyways, we're happy with the spot. First thing I want to say is do not scrape the snow down to the ice. That'll turn it into a bit of a skating rink if it starts melting. What I'm gonna do is, we kind of packed it down a bunch walking already. I kind of packed down the rest of it. So we have our area set. I have a grid with 3 holes in a row, 1 for the transducer, in the middle for the live scope, and then the 2 rods. I'm gonna set up the shack, and then I'm gonna peg it down. And there's no wind at all tonight. And typically if it was a normal fishing day, I wouldn't worry about, you know, pegging it down in the middle of the day if there's no wind. But when you fall asleep, you do not want to wake up to your shack blowing off your head. So no matter the weather, peg it down. If you want to be extra safe, peg it down with those straps as well. But we're going to do that all right now. All right, you may have seen this in previous videos, but I have a little attachment that works for the spikes. As you can imagine, how this works is that peg links right in there. And now I'm gonna screw them in all the way around. So guys, I've done this a couple times before. I know how my cot's gonna set up. I know how the holes are setting up. If you haven't done this before, I would say go inside, set up your mats, set up your cot, figure out how you want things to space out, because otherwise you're gonna peg it down. It's not gonna be a good spot. I'm confident in how I set things up because I've done this before. Next thing I'm gonna do is put the full mats on the inside. So I'm gonna put a light inside so you can see how I'm laying it out, and then next we'll do the cot. All right, we are lit up. I just hung an LED light from above, and we're gonna start laying out the mats. And before you guys may comment on it, you know, part of the reason why I'm setting things up like this is I want to set the camera tripod in the far side. Otherwise, I may put all my holes against the edge of the tent. So, you know, cater your hole and mat setup to, you know, how you're sleeping, how you're set up. I'm not sure if the cot's gonna be on this side or the tripod's gonna be on this side yet, but I'm kind of laying out mats as best as I can to cover the most area, because even if it's just underneath the cot, still keeping these mats will just keep a little bit of that cold draft from coming up. So as nice as it is for them to interlock, there's some spots where, you know, it might not interlock. You might just want to put a mat over the edge there And that's fine. Do whatever you want. It doesn't need to be perfect. I know someone messaged me and said, you know, you can number the holes or number the mats and then cut a hole in them. That's a great way to do it as well. My setup's always a little bit different, but hey, whatever you want to do, make it comfortable for yourself. I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect. If you are a perfectionist, you can cut the mats exactly how you want them. But this is going to be just dandy for tonight. So, all right, this is not the most lightweight cot, but the whole point of the cot is to just, you know, you don't want to be doing an air mattress. Anytime you can keep stuff off the ground, it's going to keep you a heck of a lot warmer. All right, guys, so now that I got the cot set up, I actually think I'm gonna move it to the far side. It'll give me a little more room for my rods, and I think with the right camera angle, I can still fit everything in, so. Alrighty, the cot's set up. I'm happy with how things are good here. Next step is we're gonna pack snow all the way around the edge, pass the heater hose underneath, get the heater going, start melting some of this ice off the mats, because it will take a while. But once the mats are dry, that is the greatest part of ice camping, is just being in your socks, being in your slippers, laying in bed, catching fish. We still got a decent amount of prep to do yet. We're gonna do a little more work outside before we get cozy. All right, we are done. The bulk of the setup, like I said, if it was gonna be windy, that could happen. I'm not too worried about it. I'm probably gonna be awake for a decent part of the night, but if I hear the wind pick up, I'm a pretty light sleeper, so I'll strap it down even more. But if you were worried about wind at all, you will save yourself a lot of sleep if you peg it down, that you don't have to be worrying all night. But one other thing to touch on, don't park on a sled trail. Don't park like right on the ice road. You know, if you're on a major travel route, make sure it's obvious that you're there, because you never know what's gonna happen with a snowmobile in the middle of the night or something. I'm gonna park my truck near my tent, just so there's one more thing that someone can see if they're ripping across here. I'm not on any sort of main travel route, so I'm not too concerned, but can never be too safe. All right, welcome to the wonderful world of ice camping. Before I get any further, I'm gonna pull out an important accessory. No, it's not jerky, it's not cookies, it's my carbon monoxide detector. I'm gonna put this right above my heater over here in one of these mesh compartments, just as a safety. Another accessory that's very handy is there's these little hooks you can get that hook onto the poles. Otherwise, you can put the clothing in the mesh as well, but just these hooks are nice because it just dries a little bit better when it's hanging there. So then I can have nice dry bibs for tomorrow. Our active rod, we got a jig and spoon, the dinner bell it's called. On the non-active rod, dead stick rod you'll call it, we got a little tungsten jig, and we're gonna kind of just set these and forget these for now. All right guys, we were set up. I got my slippers on. Lights blazing in my face. We got our 2 rods, heaters on high. Life is good in the shack. I have a vent open, 2 vents open, getting a little bit of fresh air still. And yeah, you can keep your heater running all night. Obviously make sure it's somewhere stable. As I mentioned, I got the carbon monoxide detector beside it, but yeah, it's just something you need to be aware of. Well guys, it is getting to be about bedtime. I'm actually gonna set up couple tip-ups, couple iFish Pros inside of the shack. Is it ridiculous? Yeah, no, probably kind of is. I know rattle reels are super common things that people hang from the ceiling. I don't own any of those, but yeah, I'm just gonna leave one with a dead minnow laying on the bottom, and then I'll have another tip-up with a live minnow, probably a foot off the bottom. And we'll see, maybe a flag will fly. I'll make sure to put some bells on these, but anyways, I'll get that all set up first. Another really important thing that I don't have or use currently, which I should, is some sort of fan, something to blow the heat around. A fan up top can just help spread that heat out in the shack way, way better. All right, kind of ridiculous putting tip-ups in the shack, but I think that's gonna be the easiest way to wake me up when it goes off. As I mentioned, we're gonna get that propane, we're gonna keep it running all night. I might turn it down a little bit. It's really warm outside. We will see you, hopefully, with the flag flying high in the sky.
What's going on? What's going on? Got our first flag. It hasn't moved at all though. There might be a fish there. All right, so the bail's open. I'm gonna slide it out. The fish hasn't moved, which makes me think there's a pretty decent chance it's a burbot. All right, here we go. I'm just gonna kind of reel into him. We are hooked up. What do we got? This is on the live minnow. It's actually decent weight. Oh, I was in deep sleep. I'm thinking we got a burbot. It's feeling snaky. What do we got? Target species acquired. Fat little midnight burb. I don't know what time it is. Let's check the time here. 6:30. It's not midnight at all. Well guys, it took us almost all night, but we caught a midnight beauty. Well, it's actually 6 in the morning, but a monster of the night. That is a burbot. Look how ugly that thing is. But we got it done. Lines soaked all night. Just snakes its way back down. Man, that's an interesting way to wake up. It's so funny. Burbot will so often, you know, trip a flag, take the bait, and they'll just sit with it there. Not like a pike or a walleye that might pick it up and just start running. Fish was just sitting there. So for all I know, there could be another burbot on the other line that potentially just hit it and didn't run. All right, so here's the deal. We got 12-pound fluoro leader. There's a split shot, a little clip-on weight. Then we got like 6 inches line, and then we got an octopus hook and our live minnow. Kind of should just wake up and stay up now. It's 6:30. So loud when that went off. All right, we're set back up. Oh, I'm gonna try to sleep for a bit. All right, going back to bed. I'm gonna keep that light on. I thought I heard bells. Oh. No. Everyone relax. Oh, there might be a fish on there. I think there is. All right, here we go. Catching fish from bed. Oh, I lost it. Oh, I had one. Oh, no. Oh. Whoa. I was about to lay down again. I think there's a fish down there. So you don't need a big hook set with something like this. I'm just gonna close the bail and start reeling. We are hooked up. Morning bite. Quite a few hours later. And some fish are rolling through. I gotta deal with this clip though. I might just hand land him. What do we got? Ooh! We got a breakfast walleye right there. Man, quite the lull. But this guy's not getting released. Sweet. I wasn't paying attention. I had just gotten up and reset things from before. And I looked back down and sure enough, didn't look back down, the flag popped. Back to bed. I don't want to get out of bed yet. Oh. Whoa. Oh, it's peeling line. Let it swim a little bit longer. Oh. It's got a little bit of weight. No! Ah, lost him. Well, we're getting some activity. That morning bite. There's a fish. It's a fish. We got him. We got him. Man, I just reset it. Oh no. No. Might be time to wake up, guys. Come on. Come on again. Is this the same fish? Here we go. Stay hooked. Come on. Catching fish from bed. Nice walleye. Look at that. That might have been the same culprit that took my minnow like 3 times. I think I'm gonna put this guy back. We already got one from last night and another one for breakfast. So do I need to be just sitting here with tip-ups right now? Nope. Am I gonna have a nap yet? Maybe. I don't know. But I think it's bright outside. I haven't even opened the windows. Whoa. Yeah, it's morning time.
Well guys, you can see kind of, I'm gonna just show you the layout once again. I mean, you saw it when it was empty before and we were putting stuff in, but I put the heater at the far end. You can see right here, that's what it looks like when that snow gets burnt off. It's kind of a puddle here. So I mean, obviously I could have kept that mat over it, but if you clear it all the way, then it turns into a big clear swimming pool of sorts. So you want to be careful of that. It's a disaster. I mean, if I was organized, you could easily have a second cot here. If you didn't want to fish in the shack as well, you could put a third cot down the middle. So it's whatever you want. This is just one of my camera lights. I just hang it on the ceiling with one of these bendy GoPro arms. So that did the trick. Whoa, it's bright. It is foggy out here. Well, there's our camp. It's been good to us. I think it's gonna be time to pack up and head back in. I had a great time, you know, getting that big walleye before we set up. That was obviously the highlight. The excitement was so cool, even though it's, you know, just an iPhone video. It's, people always ask me, what camera should I use? Whatever camera you have accessible, you can make such good videos with your phones. It's all about the story and the emotion. And that was just a cool moment to capture. But anyways, I hope this video helped answer some of your questions about ice camping, kind of just showed what I packed and, you know, the setup a little bit. If you have any questions or maybe things I should have done differently, please comment them below. Yeah, we're gonna be back on the ice very, very soon. Thank you guys for watching. If you've not subscribed, it would mean so much to me if you hit that subscribe button, and we will see you guys soon.